In this video, I'm going to show you how to assemble all of your pegboard parts into one assembly file. This is how it should look once you're completely finished with assembling the 7 parts into one assembly file. So I'm going to go ahead and to redo this, go ahead and create a new assembly file. So I'm going to open up a new assembly file that will have an extension of .iam. Once I have the new file opened up, I'm going to go ahead and go to my Place menu, Place Component at the top, select Place, and then I'm going to look for my folder that's on my desktop, should be on your desktop, that has all 7 of your parts in it. Here's my folder, it has all of my parts, and so I'm going to go ahead and select to place the board first. In this case I called mine board. Hit open, and it will allow me to move the board around, click on it, and right click and say OK. I could place multiple parts of this part or any other part, but I only need one of each except for the end piece, and then I'll need 2 of those. Once I have this part placed, I'm going to go ahead and place the pegs. I go back to the Place menu, select Place, and then find the different pegs that I have created. Purple triangular peg, open, click, right click, and say OK. Next will be the round peg. Scroll down to find the round peg, open, click, right click, and say OK. And finally I need the square peg. Select it, open, click, and place these anywhere. Okay, notice that I can move around each one of these independently. And at this point I'm going to go ahead and click on the board with a right click and choose the grounding tool so that this part does not move. My other 3 components, all 3 of the pegs will still move, but the board will remain in one position. Okay, once I have these 4 parts placed, the next step will be to connect the pegs to the board, and I'm going to use the constrain command. I'm going to select constrain, and in my dialog box I want to make sure that the mate command is selected. And next I'm going to mate the square peg into the square hole by placing a mate constraint on one edge of the peg and then on any inside edge of the board hole, like that. I can use my view cube to move things around, zoom in or out. I can still move the peg after I hit OK. I can still move the peg, so it's only grounded on one side. What I want to do now is ground the front and the front inside edge. So I'll go back to the constrain menu, make sure mate is highlighted or selected. And then I'm going to mate on the inside edge and click OK. Now the peg should move freely up and down. I'm going to do the same thing next with the triangular peg. I'm going to mate the triangular peg on 2 surfaces, so I go back to my constrain menu, make sure mate's selected, select one edge of the triangle and any inside edge of the triangular hole. Now I'm going to do an opposite edge, either one of these. Go back to my constrain menu, put this on one edge of the triangular peg, use my view cube to change to get to an inner edge surface, and hit OK again. Now I should be able to move the triangular peg up and down. Last is my round peg. I want to mate the round peg into the hole. Go back to the constrain menu, select mate, I'm going to mate this with the outside edge and then the center of the circle. Hit OK. and now the round peg is mated into the hole. Only one mate required with the round peg. Next, I'm going to place my two end pieces. I go back to my place menu and find my end pieces. I called mine side. Select one side, open, place once, place twice so that I have two in the assembly file, right click and hit OK. Now I'm going to use two different constraints and a flush in order to secure the end pieces to the board. I'm going to select constraint again, make sure mate is selected. I'm going to mate this edge of the board with the inside edge of that dadoed end piece. Notice how it pops into place. Next, I'm going to mate the top side of the board after I apply it. Go back to constraint. I'm going to mate the top side of the board with the underneath edge of the end piece, which is up there. Okay, now it looks like it's not constrained or not fixed into place, but the last thing that I need to do is use my flush command, which is also under the constraint menu. Flush is over on the bottom right, select it. I'm going to make this edge flush or even with this edge. Hit OK, and now you can see that that's been done. Now I have one more end to do, same manner. Choose constraint, mate, an inside surface of the end piece with the outside edge of the board. Hit OK. I also want to constrain again, mate, upper edge of the end piece with the top of the board, anywhere on the top. And last, constrain one more time using the flush command, one edge of the end piece and one edge of the board. Hit OK. Now you can see that I can move the pegs freely, but the board and end pieces are not movable because they are still grounded. The last two parts that I need to place are the mallet head and the mallet handle. So I go back to my place menu and find the mallet handle. Click anywhere to place it, right click and say OK. Go back to the place menu one more time and select the mallet head, open, and place the mallet head. Right click and OK. Now I'm going to insert the handle into the head. So to do that, I'm going to have to use, again, the constraint menu. I'm going to scroll over until I find the insert command, which is the fourth one over from the left. I'm going to select that. I'm going to choose the axis, the center axis of the handle, and then the center axis of the hole in the mallet head. Click and hit OK or apply, and now the mallet handle and mallet head move as one. I'm going to go ahead and place that about right there. Okay, don't forget to save your work. You should be saving this as Pegboard assembly, and make sure that it also goes on the folder in your desktop. And that's it for the Pegboard assembly.